Hey guys, how's it going? It's Quest and welcome to this Q&A session. Gone through a few changes recently on the channel, so thought I'd kind of clear the air a little bit, do a little explanation on, why things have changed, where it's heading, just general updates about the channel and, any other questions that you wanted to ask. So the big thing is obviously the rebrand name change. We're no longer Connor Rapper, we are Connor Quest. Obviously that was like the main point of the questions that people were asking. So yeah, let's just dive straight into the kind of main themes, because there were a lot of similar questions, so I'll just try and broadly answer most of them. So one of the most common questions was what inspired the change, which is a combination of a few things. We'll start out with a little bit of a story. So I was at a party down at my university, hanging with a bunch of friends, and I started talking to my mate's girlfriend, and we were talking about my channel, sort of like what I was doing, the songs and stuff. She was like, oh yeah, it's all great, it's all really, really good. There's one thing though. Your name's terrible. Oh, really? I was like, oh, well, what do you think's bad about it? And she was like, it's just like, it's kind of simple, like, it's not very, like, eye-catching, it doesn't really scream professional. Those were kind of the main points that she was, like, trying to get across. And I turned to my friend and I'm like, oh, do you think this? And he was like, yeah, your name's bad. And the more people I spoke to, the more people were agreeing, like, yeah, it's not a great name. it's really not. And I was like, oh damn. Like I spoke to probably about like 10 different people, and some of them were like, it doesn't really matter, like a name is what you make it, sort of thing. Majority consensus was, you need to change your name. So I got thinking, I was like, what actually would I change my name to? And I've gone through probably 6 different YouTube channels, most of them under different aliases or, group names. Identity is one of the things that I've struggled with the most. Who am I on YouTube? Who do I want to be known as? What do I want to represent, sort of thing. And that originally was why I changed my name in the first place, because I was going under a pseudonym for probably about a year before I eventually just changed it to Connor. And then even then I slapped rapper at the end of it because, Connor was a bit too broad, and obviously there's way more popular Connors than myself, so finding me online was difficult just under the name Connor. So slapping rapper at the end of it was kind of just lazy on my part. I just kind of went, yeah, Connor, rapper, that'll do. Not a lot of thought really went into the name to begin with. I did want to keep Connor as like the staple, because as I said, identity for me was like a massive thing, something I really struggled to kind of come to grips with, especially when I was going under an alias, because I just felt like I was wearing this mask of someone else, and I felt like I was trying to adhere to certain things that just weren't myself. I actually have a whole song about like literally that on my first album. So I knew I wanted to keep Connor, and then it was basically changing the word rapper, because I wanted to make it somewhat gaming related, but not so gaming related that I couldn't veer off and do other things if I wanted to, like original albums, just producing for people. I wanted to keep my options open in a sense. So the main inspiration for Quest was just my general love for MMOs, especially World of Warcraft. I've played World of Warcraft from early Lich King to pretty much the start of Wars of Draenor, and then I've, dipped in and out of Legion and Battle for Azeroth, and I streamed a lot of Classic last year as well, so World of Warcraft has always been my kind of like home game. Like I always end up coming back to it eventually, and it holds a lot of good memories for me as well. Like I met loads of friends through it, I spent loads of time with people that, it's just good memories. So Quest just kind of was a really nice fit, it has the connotation of conquest, this kind of like journey and adventure, you have just the general idea of quests is, something you go on to, kind of discover new things and have an adventure and just a journey essentially. And obviously it ties into gaming, and what I do is nerdcore and gaming songs, and obviously we're doing more anime stuff at the moment, but overall it was just kind of the perfect fit for what I do while still keeping me and who I am and my general integrity sort of in balance with it. The overall style as well, I wanted to go with almost like a tavern-esque kind of vibe. I wanted it to feel kind of homely, like, you know, this is where the people go to kind of like sit down, have a good time, you know, just relax and, you know, enjoy, you know, music, you know, grab a quest, you know, and then carry on to the next adventure, like kind of like a terminal for music sort of thing. You know, that's kind of the aesthetic I was going for, essentially. Some more specific questions about the rebrand itself were things like, will content change? You know, will I still be making music? Yes, of course. This is just a visual thing mostly. You know, my schedule hasn't really changed. My overall ideas and like everything that I've had planned for this year haven't changed. Everything's essentially just going to get better. More content, more things that I'm going to be able to do, you know, whether it comes to just producing for people or even if it's like original album stuff, like that stuff is a bit more concrete now because I have this name and I can use it to my full advantage essentially. One thing that is going to change will be Spotify, because obviously everything that I upload now is going to be under the name Connor Quest, which renders the Connor Rapper Spotify kind of, you know, null and void. I'm still going to be keeping everything on there, you know, I'm not going to get rid of everything. There are going to be some things I'm getting rid of and just moving them to Connor Quest, so they will still be available on Spotify. But I have actually been holding off even uploading things to Spotify because I knew this change was coming. So if you've been waiting for a track to be on Spotify, it will be on there very, very soon. Another one was, am I going to be releasing merch with this new branding? Now, it does lend itself well to merch, and you know, I have thought about this somewhere down the line. It will be a possibility, but I don't really feel at this point in time we're really there. I always said to myself 10k would be kind of the next step of things like merch and, you know, other series potentially on my channel. So, you know, if you want that Connor Quest merch, then get subscribing. So yeah, that's basically all the information I can think of in terms of the brand. You know, it's kind of literally just a visual thing that hopefully is going to lead to a lot of potential ventures and just be a good step in the right direction for the channel generally. So yeah, let's move on to some more generalized questions. What inspired me to start writing? Funny enough, the thing that inspired me to start writing, the first memory that I can think of, was listening to Tryhard Ninja's parodies back in the day when he was doing the Call of Duty parodies, and I think he'd just done a few of the Minecraft ones like TNT and stuff. They really inspired me to try and do my own. So I remember I used to try and write Minecraft parodies to songs. I never made them into anything, but that was my first kind of look into writing songs or trying to be clever with lyrics. Another thing that obviously inspired me to write was people like Dan Bull, generalized rappers like Eminem, Tech9, you know, the lyrical quality and the cleverness and the metaphors and the punchlines, they were all just incredible to me, and they blew my mind every time, and I always just thought, I want to be able to do that. In terms of when did I realize I could write lyrics, it wasn't really a realization. It was just kind of I did it, and then people told me it was good, so I was like, great, gonna keep doing this. And you know, the more you practice something, the better you get at it, you know, the more time you invest, and I've been doing this for nearly 6 years now, so you know, personally I kind of feel like I'm at a level where I'm happy with it, but I can always, you know, take it up a notch. You know, there's always a new rhyme, there's always a new punchline that can be written that, you know, is like really good, and it's just kind of finding those little golden nuggets that you kind of have to sift through a lot of stuff. You know, I've written a lot of things, and you know, some of them are god awful, but you know, it's the little gems that you find. They're what kind of make the whole process worth it, is when you find that line that's like, that is so good. You know, when it makes you like do that face. It's like, whoa, that was a good line. However, if you hear someone say that in a bathroom stall, just walk out. What raps am I currently working on? The three that I can kind of say are definitely in the works right now are Attack on Titan, Escanor, and Gara. When I say they're in the works, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna be the first ones out, because I have a tendency to make songs kind of quickly, kind of snap decision. Yeah, I'm gonna make this song this week and have like 2 days to do it. They won't necessarily be the ones that come out, you know, this week or next week, but they're the ones that I can pretty much definitively say are in the works. I do obviously have a lot more plans to do stuff, but nothing is kind of set in concrete yet. I know that I want to do a Resident Evil 3 rap because I absolutely love my Resident Evil 2 rap and I have like a bunch of ideas for it. I also want to do like Cyberpunk, and I know I want to do more Seven Deadly Sins stuff. It is just a case of putting those ideas into action, which I haven't necessarily done yet. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for things that you want to see me do, then please leave them in the comments because I always read them, I always look into them, and if it is something that I enjoy and I want to do a song about, then it will probably happen. How was your childhood?
It all started when I was born.
It was alright. Kind of standard childhood, you know? Went to school, grew up, started rapping. What games do you really want to make a rap about in 2020? Kind of already said a couple of them. Obviously Resident Evil 3. Doom is a big one. I really want to make a Doom track, and you know, the idea I have for it is like heavy. Animal Crossing is one as well that I'm kind of interested in. I'd like to see what kind of vibe that would end up being. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. There's lots of things I want to make a song about. Favorite rappers, obviously we've had the aforementioned Dan Bull, we've had Tech 9, we've had Eminem. They're kind of the big three, shall we say. I mean, I'm just so heavily invested in nerdcore at the moment that kind of it's all I really listen to, unless there's like a huge rap track that comes out now. You know, I'm just gonna be listening to Fable or Daddy Fat Snaps or Rustage or Schwabbity. Like I'm so invested in nerdcore, and there's so much talent in nerdcore as well. Like there's so many underground, undiscovered people in this scene, and a lot of them are starting to flourish, and it's really, really nice to see. If I had to give like my top 3 or 4 mainstream rappers, it would be Eminem, Tech 9, probably Chris Calico. I'm probably gonna say Kendrick Lamar as well. You know, just absolute great body of work, and you know, considered one of the best for good reason. Pineapple or apple? I like pineapple. I like apple. Throw a pen in there, and then now we're talking. What's with this Connor Side Quest channel? So, Connor Side Quest is the inevitable second channel that I kind of have stapled. There's nothing on there at the moment. It's just there. It is available for you to subscribe to if you wish, but you know, it's pretty dead at the moment. But yeah, what I want to do there is just kind of like behind the scenes sort of things, you know, nothing too like major, probably not actual structured videos, just kind of little tidbits here and there, maybe some instrumental stuff, covers potentially if I decide that I really want to do a cover of something. I'm not a big cover guy. I used to do remix things, so potentially some remix stuff. I really want to do some reactions to things. I know there's a couple of ciphers that are coming out that I would love to react to. I haven't really had the chance to do that because I don't do kind of reaction stuff on my channel. I did one for that Hearthstone comment section thing, but at the time that was like a massive thing for me, so I thought, yes, this is main channel worthy. Some are just like general reactions to stuff. They'll be going on the second channel. And yeah, kind of just a dumping ground for things that I don't necessarily want to put on the main channel. Any little extra bits will be on Connor Side Quest. I also have Connor Quest Games now, which is basically my old gaming channel, just revamped. Stuff that's going on there will be things like stream highlights, a couple of Let's Plays maybe, you know, if I get together with a couple of friends and we play games, something funny happens, it'll probably end up on there. I do also have a couple speed runs on there at the moment, a couple world records, might I say. You know, I was pretty big into speed running for a little bit, and you know, still love it. So, you know, maybe a couple more speed runs will happen on there. But yeah, the dumping ground for anything gaming will be Connor Quest Games. Who is my favourite Borderlands character? I didn't play a lot of the Borderlands series. I've played 1 and 2, like probably about halfway through each, and I haven't played 3 at all. But I'm just gonna say Claptrap, because he just makes me laugh to no end. And I feel like that's kind of like a cop-out, because Claptrap is like one of the most memorable characters from the series, so it's kind of an obvious choice, but I just love him. The humor is just exactly my humor, and I just love him. How am I going to approach 2020 with my experiences from the past year? Be more consistent, be more organized. That's a massive thing for me. You know, this is the first kind of year I'm coming out of education completely. I don't plan on going back at all. It's the first year that I'm gonna be able to just hammer in on YouTube completely 100%. And I think now that the ball has kind of started rolling, you know, I'm meeting all these new people, I'm kind of gathering these experiences. I'm a lot more confident now in not only myself, my production, my voice, but also in, you know, the people around me. I did a lot of gigs last year, I did a lot of networking events, just building up that kind of confidence to, you know, talk to people and, you know, really put myself out there. That's one of the biggest things that the past year has taught me to do. And just taking that mentality into 2020 will hopefully lead to some really great things. It already has, kind of. You know, the tail end of 2019 was really crazy with kind of the situations I ended up being in, and, you know, hopefully all that will kind of come to fruition in early 2020 or late 2020 or, you know, whenever. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good year. I think last year was a real year of kind of cementing everything, and now this year is gonna be kind of seeing how far we can progress that. Now we come to the really important question. Probably the biggest question that I've been asked. You know, this isn't something I'm gonna take lightly, this decision. It's a real tough one. It's a real tough one. You know, I have my loyalties, obviously. You know, when you spend so much time somewhere, you grow attached to everything around you. You know, you become part of the furniture, and, you know, it's hard to break away from that, but I'm gonna have to say Burger King. It's always been a dream of mine to stand static in a given location and wait for people to come to me. It's one of the greatest experiences in life when you get halfway through a conversation and then instantly stop because someone has clicked their mouse, and then they come back to you with 10 bear bums, 12 spider legs, 27 chicken's quiffs, and, you know, you just feel like your life is complete. So yeah, I think that's basically all the questions I got asked. If I did miss any, I'm sorry. Hopefully we'll have another Q&A in the future, and I can get round to your question if I missed it. But I am always streaming on stuff like Twitch, so, you know, if you ever want to come and just ask me the question live, then feel free to do so. Just a massive thank you for the last year as well. It's been a mad one, to say the least. You know, 3,290 subscribers is not a number that I thought I would be seeing at this point in time. I think it's 3,300 now. I just haven't updated that board, but yeah, just ridiculous growth, ridiculous love. Thank you to everyone that I've worked with. It's just been insane, you know, thinking back to my last kind of Q&A that I did, which was like a year ago, I think, nearly, or just under. It's been wild. I've met some amazing people, people that I can now call friends now as well, which is really, really nice to say. I've worked with incredible people. I'm continuing to work with incredible people, and I'm continuing to do the thing I love and start seeing real potential in it, which is one of the best feelings in the world. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to keep up with all the content that we're going to be putting out. My name is Quest, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.